So, as a chosen vessel of God, you are going to experience many different times and seasons in your life. And it will come to a point when you'll start to recognize the patterns within those times and seasons. Then you'll take those patterns and you'll use them to create power. Because when you recognize a pattern, that's knowledge, that's power, so that you won't repeat cycles and so that you can begin to enter into the new seasons that God is taking you to. You may be going through a season that feels like everything is a struggle. You feel like you're going up an uphill battle all of the time. You know, God keeps reminding me of a day that I had, and it was such a bad day. And this was well over, I know, 10 years ago, but I'll never forget this day. And the reason I remember the day was because it was connected to a certain season I was going through. It was a bad day, but it was within a bad season. And I remember on this particular day, I felt like everything that went wrong, everything that could go wrong was going wrong that day. And I was at work and I went on this lunch break. I said, I got to get out of here. And I walked up a hill. I walked next door to take a walk and just to get some fresh air. And when I was going up the hill, all of a sudden I almost said strange. It was a strange wind. It was a strong wind that blew against me to the point I couldn't even walk up the hill. And I cried out in frustration out loud. This is how frustrated I was. I said, Lord, why does it feel like everything has to be so hard? Everything. I can't even take a walk without feeling frustrated, a simple walk. And you might be in a season where everything feels like a struggle. God is making you unshakable. He's shaking everything up that can be shaken. And the only thing that will be left will be your faith. It will be the things that are supposed to be in your life, the people that are supposed to be in your life. He's making you unshakable. He says, you will not be shaken. Mount Zion will not be shaken. And so the God of the storm wants you to know that he's with you in the midst of the storm, and he's going to produce shalom in you, even in the battles, even in the storms. He's making you unshakable. The Lord has anointed you to do hard things. So you'll be required to go through some hard things. You'll be required to go to some hard places because he's preparing you for your purpose. You are called to help others to keep standing. It may not feel like it right now, but you will. The pressures of life are very real, but it will not break you, chosen one. 2 Corinthians 4, verses 8 through 9 says, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. You know, sometimes people think that when you go with God or when you get saved, you're going to have a life that's carefree. You're never going to go through anything. You're not going to be under attack. You won't experience warfare. You won't go through seasons of dryness or famine in certain areas. And it's not like that. The Apostle Paul was going through something right here. He was pressed on every side. That means he felt the pressures of life in every area. You may be feeling the pressures of life in every single area. You may be perplexed. You may be going through some confusion. When you walk with God, you're going to be under pressure. When you walk with God, you're going to be perplexed. You're going to experience confusion. You're going to be persecuted. You're going to be struck down. But the promise is you won't be abandoned. He won't abandon you. You won't be crushed. You won't stay in despair. You will not be destroyed. You have to set your face. Hear me. God is calling you like Isaiah. He's calling you to set your face like a flint against everything that's coming against you. You know, the Lord said, and I think it was in Luke, he says, I'm setting my face to go to Jerusalem. You have to set your face like a flint. Isaiah 50:7 says, the servant said in this passage, therefore have I set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be ashamed. God sent me to encourage you on today. He wants you to know you may be feeling pressure in every area of your life, but he wants you to set your face like a flint against everything that is coming against you, and remember the promise. You have to trust God. He wants you to endure the suffering and endure the shame, because he's going to resurrect you. He's going to renew you. He's going to give you power. He's going to use that pain to your purpose one day. He's going to turn it into your purpose one day. So you are chosen. God is using you. He wants you to set your face like a flint. You have to be stubborn against the enemy. You have to be like a spiritual gangster, and know that he can't take you out until you have completed your mission here on this earth. He's going to send, oh my goodness, you guys. You know, I have this thing with birds. A bird just literally flew up to the windshield. So that's confirmation for somebody right there. You have to set your face like a flint and be stubborn when the enemy is coming against you. Or, you know, it may not be warfare. Not everything is warfare. Sometimes it's just because we live in a fallen world and we're going to go through things sometimes. It doesn't mean that the Lord is not with you. He will not. Remember, he said he won't abandon you. He's going to be with you. Okay. But endure through the pain, endure through the shame. Okay. I believe that if you heard this message on today, it was meant for you to hear it. Stay on fire for the Lord. Stay free in Jesus. And I will see you in the next video.